Good morning, world. It's Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. Usually I do this on Periscope, but I think I'm gonna go back to YouTube for a little bit. I'm gonna do a little, I guess, recap on Periscope. Today I wanted to talk about knowing your place, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what my pastor was saying this past Sunday. Pastor West, the Church Without Walls, Brook Hollow Baptist Church. If you need a church home here in Houston, we have 3 locations: Queenston, Bingle, and Eldridge. Just to put my church out there real quick. But knowing your place. Now, the part that I really wanted to piggyback off of from Pastor West is when you're somewhere and you know that you're not supposed to be there. The feeling that you get, the mind state that you're in beforehand, and the mind state that you're in while you're there, and the mind state that you're in after you get there. And this could apply to many things. It can apply to your lifestyle at home. It can apply to your work. It could apply to going backwards. It could apply to moving forward. Whichever situation or scenario you want to apply this to, this may be some good advice for you. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you've either wanted something so bad and you've waited for this one thing for so long, and then you finally get it, and when you get there, you look around and you're like, what am I doing? Why did I do this? Or, you feel like, hey, I've probably evolved from what I think I wanted, and now that I see that I'm here, I know now that it's somewhere that I should not be. I use that example because it's a lot of people today who are either trapped in something they don't want to be in, or trapped in something that they thought they wanted to be in, and now that they're in it, they're like, pump the brakes, I'm ready to get away from it all or whatever. One thing that you have to know for yourself is, you need to know who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. If you're somewhere, or you're trying to get somewhere where you think it's the place that you need to be, first off, you need to make sure that you're studied up, do your research on it, and make sure that that is actually a place that you really want to be, not a place where you're either trying to keep up with the Joneses, or just a place where you're trying to, I guess, make yourself look better in a better light than what you have probably been in before. It's a lot of things and a lot of issues that people go through. My thing in the past is I used to try and give my right arm for people. I used to, try and help feed people. I used to try and help people raise kids. I used to try and help get people on the right path. I'm still doing that to a certain effect, but now I'm kind of trying to learn my place, because before I would almost put everybody before my own needs, and then I would be left with myself on the back burner while I'm trying to either build up or set a example, or try and, I guess, save, or whatever you want to call it, whichever way you want to look at it. And then you end up putting yourself on the back burner, and then you end up not giving yourself the nutrients that you need to grow. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. So when I say know your place, all I'm basically really saying is know where the place is, and make sure that you fit into that place, like the puzzle piece that you are, and not letting yourself be the small puzzle piece or the missing puzzle piece that you need to complete the puzzle, but make sure that you are that piece that is going to define the puzzle that you are trying to create, if you will, if you can get down with that analogy. Now, a lot of people think that they may be trying to help others in order to get them to a certain place. But what you have to realize is, if that person does not want to help themselves, then all the things that you're doing is in vain. Not too long ago, somebody told me that I changed, And my response to that was, I know I changed for the better. I know they were trying to say it in a malice way and trying to put me down or whatever, but I know that I know what I came from and I know what I am becoming right now. So when somebody tells me I changed, I take it as a compliment because to me, change is necessary in life. Every day, you can change or whatever and become either better or you can change for the worse. Now, a lot of people, back in the day, I was one of these people too, where I would say, I'm never going to change. I'm always going to be the same. There is nothing good in being the same that you were before. Change is evolutionary. If you don't understand that, then you are never going to grow as a person. There's no way in the world that you should be at the same spot that you were 10 years ago. There's no way. If you are in the same spot that you were 10 years ago, you need to stop right now and you need to focus and you need to try and amp yourself up, if you will, because if you're going to be stuck in the same ways that you were stuck in 10 years ago, think about how it's going to be 10 years from today. You can't be 40 years old trapped in a 16-year-old body. It's not what's happening. And with that, also, if you don't change for the better, and a lot of us do have kids out there, when our kids see what we're doing, then that's going to tell them that they don't have to change while they're in their adolescence, and they're going to continue to be immature, and they're going to continue to do childlike things. The thing that we are trying to do is trying to be more God-like instead of more childlike. So if you cannot change, then you cannot evolve, and you cannot try and be more God-like because you are still in childish ways. And if you're still in childish ways, then you're not ever going to learn anything, because if you have noticed, it's harder for children to listen than it is for an adult to listen. And that's another thing that I've learned in my life. As I've gotten older, I've been able to accept criticism more. I've been able to take in certain things that I could not take in when I was younger, because when I was younger, I didn't know my place. I thought I was my place. I thought that everything that I was doing was right as far as me is concerned. And sometimes we do get caught up in that notion of ourselves that we don't see that we need improvement. And improvement is always something that is worth doing, because if you improve, you evolve. If you evolve, you become a better person. If you change, there is room for other things so you can ascend to the next level, if you will. Now, always remember, know your place in every situation, because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to help yourself or the next situation if you're trying to help somebody per se. If you don't know that, hey, I'm giving this person this advice or whatever, but I don't take that advice, you're not going to be able to help that person, because they're looking at you and trying to live off of your example. And if your example is wrong, then you cannot teach them anything, because you cannot bring them to a higher level. I'm always about self-improvement. I say this almost every time that I do my midweek pickup, that change is evolution, and we need to focus on becoming a better person. This is a very hard work in progress, especially if you are married, going to work, have children. That whole lifestyle in itself is a change almost daily, because no matter what, no matter if your routine is still the same, it's always something that's going to come at you in a different angle, and you have to be ready for that at all times. So know your place, stay rooted in your place so you can grow and blossom into a better place. With that being said, I'm going to go on and cut it short. I've been doing 20-minute midweek pickups, and I know that's not too hot or whatever. But always remember, put God first, family second, everything else will follow. And know your place. Don't let that person that's still stuck in the past bring you down. Know when somebody tells you you've changed, you're not the same person. Take that as a compliment, unless you've changed for the negative. But 9 times out of 10, if somebody's telling you you've changed, it's because they don't like the person that you've become, because they hate it, because they want you to be what you were before. And past is never good to try and come back to, or go back to, or come back from, or whatever you want to call it. The past is in the past. That's what it is. It's the past. You've outgrown it. So keep that in mind. With that being said, I will see y'all next week. Don't know what my topic is yet, but next Wednesday is Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans and everything. Thanksgiving is coming up. You do know that I am the owner of B&B Barbecue, so I will be smoking turkeys for this Thanksgiving. More details coming soon. Y'all have a good day.